I'm proud of what we achieved and the role I played in our borough. And I'm glad that my family are here today and that I know my late father would be proud. We are of the dynasty that brought Cadbury's chocolate to the world, but it's for their social values that Cadbury's are also recognised. Values instilled through our Quaker faith. The Cadburys of the first half of the 20th century knew that you cannot expect working people to be productive, healthy and fulfilled unless the whole person and their family are supported with good pay, good training, decent housing and adequate welfare support. They recognised for their businesses to maintain their prosperity, their employees needed security too. They provided these services for their staff, but they also advocated that the state should provide these for universal health and social services, the hallmark of a civilised society. They provided for their employees until the foundation of the welfare state and the NHS following the success of the Attlee government in 1945. My forebearers would therefore be shocked to see the steady erosion of that welfare state in the last 5 years. I'm proud to be representing the community that's been my home for over 30 years, where our sons were born and grew up, and where I've been an elected councillor until I stood down last week. Before I focus on my constituency and the subject of today's debate, I want to pay tribute to the work of my predecessor, Mary MacLeod. We obviously had political differences, but as a councillor, I have great respect for the work she did in the constituency and working with local residents, and I will continue to work on these issues, among many others. She was also a respected member of this House, and she will be delighted that part of her legacy is that the Women and Equality Select Committee is to be established, something she initiated with colleagues from across the House as part of her cross-party work on the involvement of women in Parliament. Mr. Speaker, my constituency is one that many people pass through and indeed over as they head to Heathrow and to Points West. Historically, Hounslow was the first stop for the stagecoaches going west. And today, if you look down from a plane's right-hand windows, as you come to land at Heathrow, there we are. When heading west on the elevated section of the M4, one passes through Brentford, my hometown, with its resurgent football club. The Grand Union Canal meets the Thames in Brentford, and the Piccadilly District and National Rail lines to Hounslow and beyond all pass through, as does the Thames itself, whose 5-mile stretch borders the constituency from Isleworth to Chiswick, and that's where the boat race ends, of course, sorry, where the boat race ends, and from where, as a member of the Chiswick Canoe Club, I've set off to kayak downstream past this very building. It's a stunning way to view London. Hounslow and Hounslow Heath, Osterley, Isleworth, Brentford, Chiswick. All distinct and wonderful places with their own characteristics, but all having a strong sense of community. Artists and writers such as William Hogarth, William Turner and Vincent van Gogh all lived locally for at least some of their lives. Our cultural diversity has been enriched in recent decades by people choosing to make Britain their home and then giving back to Britain. No one epitomises this more than Mo Farah, whose family settled locally after fleeing Somalia. The local economy is also diverse. We're home to many small and vibrant businesses, as well as well-known names, GSK, Sky, Brompton Bikes, and Fuller's Brewery. And despite being a Quaker, I'm not quite a teetotaler, so can categorically state that London Pride is the best bitter brewed in the UK. We're at the heart of West London's TV triangle, which is the growing media technology industry cluster emerging now in West London. And we have Heathrow to the west. As Britain's premier airport, it's of course a major driver to our local economy, but it is also the major source of noise, air pollution and traffic congestion in my constituency. Hence my election campaign on Heathrow, better, not bigger. However, Mr. Speaker, despite the economic vibrancy locally, Within our community, there are growing inequalities. Inequalities in income and health inequalities. A home of one's own is becoming more unattainable and more unaffordable, even for those earning a reasonable income. And while unemployment here is relatively low, the route into well-paid work with one of our large employers locally is out of the reach for far too many people, young and not so young, because they don't have the requisite skills. Mr. Speaker, I'm glad to be making my maiden speech in this health and social care debate. My constituents are concerned that the proposed closure of the Accident Emergency Department at Charing Cross and also at Ealing hospitals will leave Chiswick residents with long journey times to alternatives and will mean massively increased pressure on West Middlesex Hospital at the centre of the constituency. I therefore thank the Honourable Member for Battersea committing to meet local MPs to discuss the issue of the accident and emergency services in West London. I prepared my speech by asking my friend, a local GP, what changes she would like to see to enable her to better serve her patients. For her and her colleagues, the overall health and well-being of her patients are key. She said that great as the NHS is, it cannot alone meet the challenges. Her top priorities are that people should be better supported. We should have better and more joined up mental health, public health and care services, more investment in early years, and finally, she said we need more investment in affordable, good quality housing. Last week I stepped down as a Hounslow councillor. I've had many lead responsibilities over 25 years, and in recent years I've led on the regeneration of town centres, the introduction of the London Living Wage, and building the first new council housing for over 20 years. I'm proud of what we achieved and the role I played in our borough. They would be asking why there is nothing in the gracious speech about increasing the supply of adequate, affordable housing, nothing about reducing child poverty, and nothing about ensuring local authorities have adequate funding to provide good quality social care and public health services sufficient for the needs of their communities. So I'm therefore grateful to the people of Brentford and Isleworth for giving me the chance to give them a voice on these and so many other issues. And I look forward to representing them here for many years to come. Thank you.
Yeah, Bruce.